So my name is Micah Theard. I am the founder of a company called Cashflow NFT. I can't even pronounce my own company name. Cashflow NFT, cashflownft.net. And so today we're going to talk about how to use that technology in a different way than others have. So don't be afraid when you hear NFT, because there's been a lot of ups and downs lately about NFTs. But that's the thing about what we're doing. What we're doing is we're using the blockchain technology where its benefits for sure its use, right? So when I first heard about crypto, it was when I was trying to sell someone on something, and they were saying, well, we were thinking about doing this thing called mining Bitcoin. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Mining? What? Had no idea what they were talking. This is like 2013. And I was like, funny money? Like, no, 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 no. You're going to do the thing I'm doing, and I unfortunately talked them out of it. And they should have talked me into what they were talking about. 2 years later, I'm listening to someone that I respected a lot. He used to be like heavily involved in the financial industry in New York, the whole thing. And he just left because he saw the corruption. And so he was talking about how he was consulting people across the world. And then he said, I'd rather take Bitcoin than money because it's easier. So he showed how he had his phone and he had a QR code on the phone. And he said, and all they do is scan it through the screen, and then I get the money in two seconds. And I was watching this, and I'm like, and a light bulb went off, and I said, okay, here's somebody who's super smart that I respect. And he says it's easier to take payment with Bitcoin than the other way. And I was like, okay, there's got to be something to this. So I started to research. That's when I started to research crypto. And the more I learned, the more intrigued I got, and the more I started to see what was going to happen. I saw it the same way that you would see that maybe, plastic was going to be the thing. Maybe you started seeing it in the 70s and like, oh, wait a minute, they just went boom and it's done. And they don't have to carry cash around. And you start to add it up and go, wait a minute, this is going to be the thing. Or when Netflix started to use streaming, they had a streaming service and Blockbuster didn't get it, right? Where's Blockbuster now? So it's about seeing what's going to happen and then being in front of it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And that's what this other company we're talking about is Miracle Cash and More. And what Miracle Cash and More is positioning themselves, similar to what Netflix did, to just kill the competition. And so this is what this company, Miracle Cash and More, is doing. And then we're also going to talk about a fun guy named Boogie Gopher. Okay, so that's the fun part of our conversation today. So first, let's dive into and look at. Let me just get my screen right so I don't show my email page. We don't want to. We want to show that. We want to show this thing. I got this flyer. All right. So let's get back here. Okay. So let's look at CoinGecko real quick. CoinGecko is a site, if you're new to crypto. Okay, so CoinGecko is a site that tracks coins. What are coins? Coins are basically a code that's on a blockchain, and blockchain is a code that is an immutable. You can't defraud this chain. It's decentralized, and the data lives in thousands and thousands of computers all over the world. And that's why Bitcoin became what it is today. It started off being worth less than a penny, and now you can see it at 19,372. Now, had we known in 2010 that it was going to be worth $19,372, we would have put all our money in Bitcoin, right? So the people that argued back and forth back then, when people were saying, oh, this is This is a Ponzi, this is stupid, this is dumb, it's going to be blah, 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 blah. Those who argued against it and kept their money in the bank have basically lost millions and millions and millions of dollars in lost opportunity. And those who were for it are multimillionaires, maybe billionaires today. So we cannot know what happened. Everybody knows. But now, you know, it's about how do you now engage in this industry and know where it's going to happen and how you're going to make money. Do you buy Bitcoin today? Do you put, say, $5,000 into Bitcoin and hope it goes to 40,000 in the next year or so? You could, but how do we predict how that's going to happen? Well, we don't. We can't predict these things. We know long-term that this technology is powerful. We know long-term that the technology is going to win, but we may not know exactly what projects are going to win. And when I talk projects, I talk about all these different coins. You got Polkadot, you got Shiba, Uniswap, Chainlink. So I look at these, and there's some of these that I own and I like them, and I'm holding them long-term. And on a lot of them, I'm down 50–60% because I'm holding them from back when they were worth a lot more. So that's the world of that. Now, what we're talking about today is the side of this industry that doesn't seem to slow down, that doesn't seem to be affected whether the coin is high or low. And it's the exchange side. Being on the exchange side is the predictable side, right? So when you think back on the gold rush and people were flocking to California to find gold, well, some did, right? Some did, and they found an amazing amount of gold and maybe they got rich, but some didn't. But who were the ones that for sure did well and got rich? Were the ones that provided the services. They provided the tools that they needed, the hacks and the pans and all that. They provided housing, and they provided food, whatever, right? So those people got rich predictably because there was an increased demand as people started to come to it. Now look at the exchanges here. And we've been talking about this now for, you know, I started showing this in the beginning of the presentation over a month ago. And every day we go look and we see that Bitcoin's either down or up, right? But what's interesting is sometimes Bitcoin's really down and these exchanges are making more money because there's more trading going on. So look at number 8, 700 million in the last 24 hours. Number 7, over $1 billion traded in the last 24 hours. Take that 365 days, you have $365 billion traded by Bybit. Does anyone know who Bybit is? OKX, 1.5 billion. Coinbase, 2.1 billion. Take that. That's over 700. That's almost $1 trillion in a year traded on Coinbase. And then we got the biggest one, Binance, today at 17.8 billion. And so we were basically sharing that with people saying, look at that. Take 1% of that. And that's what Binance made in the last 24 hours. Overall, there was over $85 billion traded on these exchanges that they're following. Then I went over to check on Binance and we saw this number. So Binance says we're doing $76 billion a day in trading. So I went, okay, what's the biggest company in the world? What's number one? And they arguably it is Apple. Now I looked at Apple's numbers and they said that over the last year, their revenue was 346 billion. And Binance is not even on the list. And I'm like, why are they on the list? They're not on the list because actually they're operating in this other paradigm. It's a new dimension. It doesn't even exist in the old dimension. They can't even measure what Binance is doing. And it's hard to know, but here are some numbers, right? So we came out to a profit of like 250 billion to 300 billion a year. Okay. And so how is that happening? Well, we believe we have about 2% adoption. So there's about 2% of the world that have bought into this industry. And we know because we've seen it before. We saw how Netflix started streaming a little bit. And then all of a sudden now Netflix is bigger than Paramount, Warner Brothers, MGM, all of the movie production companies. It dwarfs them, right? So streaming changed that industry. Streaming digital music changed the music industry. And this technology is changing the world of transactions, okay? So we didn't get an opportunity to participate in Binance, Coinbase, or any of these exchanges, because usually what they do is they build the technology. When they have the technology, there's two problems. If, say, you wanted to start your own exchange, number one, you have to have the money in place. So you start from zero and you have to have a few million just to kind of build the platform. Then when you want to roll it out, you need more money. And but even if you have the money, if you don't have the people, the team to do it, you could end up spending money and not having the technology at the end of the day. So it's very, very difficult to be in a position as a regular person, normal person, like, you know, everyone around us, to actually be part of something like this. And so today I'm going to talk about how we've invented a way for regular people to actually be able to be part of something like this. That's key in this presentation. So let me go over to our deck here. So I talked about CashflowNFT. That's the company I founded. And we're talking about Miracle Cash and More, which is an international crypto exchange with storefronts, brick and mortar storefronts, okay? So that is sort of the secret sauce. We're gonna talk about how you can become a member. And in that membership, you will receive what's called marketing fees, marketing payments to that membership. So that's how we're structured. When you purchase the membership, you get an NFT called the Boogie Gopher Club, and we'll talk about that as well. So we just have a disclaimer in regards to how this works, and this is it. You know, we're not, we basically are marketing a membership, and with the membership comes an NFT. With that NFT comes marketing revenue to you as a member of this program. And so welcome to this presentation. So what we do is we acquire assets and we tokenize them. I'm gonna break that down a little bit for you. But how does that work? Well, it's similar to, basically it's a digital representation of a tangible or intangible asset. We use it because it's just a world of difference in how we actually can access and pay out the marketing revenue. We can access and pay out marketing revenue to all corners of the world with the touch of a button. And that is a huge advantage compared to what you had to do in the past. If you were going to have members all over the world, you have to have ways of paying out to each and every country in different currencies. It's completely impossible to have small payments of membership and small payments going out throughout the world without this technology. So this is basically available because the technology now allows us to do it this way. And that is part of the reason why this opportunity exists for you. So this, we've talked about this tokenizing. We believe that the world is moving in this direction. I've seen very amazing projects. We have another one where we're tokenizing real estate. Excuse me, people are calling me. Where we're tokenizing real estate, they're tokenizing deeds to houses, they're tokenizing the US dollar is tokenized. So tokenization is the future. And the reason for that is because it makes it more secure and it makes it easier to move. It's easier to move a token than it is to move the traditional asset, okay? So that's why we're doing it that way. So, okay, Miracle Cash and More, we're going to describe and explain what that company is and what it's built. It's an amazing company. And so me, CashflowNFT, we found this company and we vetted it for over 3.5 months. I personally invested over $500,000 of my own money when I first got involved with this company. Then together with Miracle CashflowNFT created this way that you can be part of it, because earlier there was, unless you had over 1 million, you couldn't participate. So we've created this way so that you can participate for a lot less. Actually, for $5,000, you can be being part of that profit that you're seeing that Binance is making, that Coinbase is making, okay? And that is markets up or down, we're still selling, we're still making money. So what we did was we purchased the UK. First, we purchased Spain and we sold out of Spain. Then we purchased UK, which was 4 million total for the license. Plus, we have a budget to put 5 stores in all across that continent, and we're putting other assets across that continent. So then we said, okay, we're going to split half of our profits from the entirety of UK with the members, okay? And the members all get an NFT, and you can get more than one membership. It's up to you, and we'll explain how that works. So each one is $5,000, and we'll tell you why it's a good idea to spend the $5,000 on that membership. Miracle Cash and More was founded in 2017 by Hakan Torhan. And so back then, he comes from a background of finance. He was in the ATM industry, he was in data analytics and consumer credit, and he has had huge wins in those industries. And as a result of all of his knowledge, when he saw the blockchain and he looked at what was happening in the industry, he said, okay, what is it going to take to be the Amazon of crypto, the Netflix of crypto, the Google of crypto, the Apple of crypto, the top company? What is it going to take? And he started to put the pieces together, and they opened transactional office in North Cyprus. And those storefronts have done really well, averaging $500,000 a day in transactions. Those profits have been reinvested into the infrastructure of this company. And so the company has no debt, which is a really big deal. A lot of these tech companies, they come with millions of dollars in debt, and this has zero debt. And then a few months ago, we opened the first international store in Amsterdam. That's a picture from the actual front desk in Amsterdam. And then Berlin, Germany coming very soon. And we have Paris, we have France, we have Spain, we have more cities now being negotiated in Germany. We got Belgium coming out, we got Turkey, and obviously UK, and on and on. So you're in a very interesting time with this company, because in a few days we start our advertising campaign for Germany and Turkey. And so we are about to be much more public than we have been up until this point. I love to market and talk about what we're doing with people, because when we're showing that we are a brick and mortar, people relax. They go, oh, thank God there's a way to actually vet them. Because if you have a brick and mortar, a storefront, number one, because it's a crypto cash situation, when you're dealing with money and you're dealing with crypto, the government is very, very, very strict on the rules, okay? This is one of the most regulated and sensitive things, because number one, you can launder. Number two, you can use it for bad things. So the government, they check you so thoroughly. There's no way I could do that kind of vetting. There's no way I can check the company on the level that a government can. So having a store that's operating open in the heart of Amsterdam, Netherlands, it's the heart of Europe. It's one of the most busiest, most prominent cities in Europe. on the busiest street in Amsterdam, mind you, doing business on a daily basis, you know that there's no way that this company could be doing that if they weren't legal, if they weren't compliant on the highest level. And so that is a very good thing to actually rest your judgment on, because it's impossible to do this if you are not following the rules. Okay. So when I spoke to you about that, Hakan was like, okay, we're going to be the Amazon of this, or the Netflix of it, or the comparable, the leader in the industry. What do you have to do? Well, you have to be better, you have to be more versatile, and you have to be unique. And this list basically shows how the other exchanges compare to Miracle. So there's many, many check marks beyond what the other exchanges are doing. And that's the key to not only that we will be the only local face-to-face company, we'll also have so many different products and services that the others don't have. That's how you win this game, and that's what we're doing. So you may ask, okay, I get it, storefronts, and some people just get it. They're like, storefronts, of course. Some people are like, why storefronts? For me, when I saw Apple doing their own stores, years ago, I was like, why are they doing that? That's really weird. Like, I could just go to Best Buy and get a Apple laptop. Why do they have to do their own store? I didn't get it because no one else is doing it. Now I get it. I mean, look at the Apple stores. It's basically like them showing off. This is who we are. No one beats us. We are the company. We are the computer company. And they're able to talk to their customers, give them service, educate them in the stores. And that is the same thing. That's the advantage we will have. And because it took over 2 years to build the CRM, without a CRM, you can't put stores all over the world. So for another company to compete, first of all, they got to build the technology and the infrastructure to do it. So they're about 2 to 3 years behind us in that, if they haven't started already. And second, they have to have the design, and they have to have, if they're a big company, now all of a sudden they're going to switch gears and do something different, something they don't even know how to do. So we're looking at what could be the future strongest crypto company in the world, because we're local. Because when we're local, the customers know they can come see us. They know we're legal. They know we're compliant. They know they can obviously reach us. And then that's why they're going to trust us. The other exchanges are operating from some island somewhere on the other side of the world. Are you going to trust them with $100,000? Are you going to trust them with 200,000? Are you going to trust them with 5,000? You don't, you know? So what's happening is this technology is so powerful that the governments are basically having to bow down for it. Because if their country stops this technology and the other countries allow it, they will fall behind. There's nothing they can do. They can't navigate out of this. It's going to happen. And they know that. So that's why the regulations now are going into effect. That's why the government people have to learn this technology, which they were reluctant to do because they're bureaucrats. They're not tech people. So they have now, actually in North Cyprus, Hakan, the owner of Miracle Cash and More, had to go to the government offices and sit and discuss and teach them how it worked. And he actually wrote the law for North Cyprus because they don't understand it, because it's not what they do, right? So that's happening now. You know, EU is coming out, excuse me, with their laws, and English courts just admitted that NFTs are property. So all of this stuff is happening, and it's happening very, very fast. So the Miracle Cash and More is the way that you and I can be part of this revolution. We can finally be in a position to profit off of when something changes the world in a big way. You know, computers changed the world in a big way. Were we in on that? The internet changed the world in a big way. Like, had we known, we would have bought Apple early. We would have bought Microsoft early. We would have bought Amazon, Google, you know, we would have got in on it. But here we're even talking about earlier than that. We're talking about a situation like there's a story, you know, because Bill Gates, you know, he dropped out of college, and he was basically building computers in his garage. Now imagine being able to go into that garage and say, hey, I'm going to give you 50,000 for this project. Just give me like 5% of your company. Imagine if you had that opportunity, how amazing that would be. That's what it is now, because we're not public, we're not selling stocks. We're actually inviting people to be in the very beginning of something that's going to be absolutely massive. So this company has storefronts, obviously. We have Bitcoin ATMs, which we call AVM, because they're vending machines. You can take cash in and out. We have the world's first crypto point of sale system. So a retailer can now accept crypto and get money into his bank account the next day without having to deal with anything. Just use the machine and then boom, it's done. All of a sudden, his sales are going to increase because all the crypto people will show up to buy stuff. We have a virtual system that does the same thing for websites. We have our website, we have our apps, and then we got products. And we're going to talk about those products in this presentation. And we're going to start with the product that's called Miracle with Installments. Now, this is something, and this is very interesting, because if it wasn't for Hakan's past and what he's done in the world of finance, this company would not exist. So this product is exactly like that, except it doesn't use money, it uses tokens, okay? So for instance, if you wanted to have the new iPhone 14, and I don't know what they want for it, maybe $1,400, and you want the phone, but you don't want to pay for it all in one shot. Miracle with Installments could allow you to get that phone and then make installments. How does that work? It's a two-step process. First, you fill out a form. We check to make sure that you have the ability to pay it back. Then we give you Miracle tokens. So you get 2,000 Miracle tokens. And then you get a payment plan, a purchase contract from us, and you pay it back over time. Now you can pay it back 2 days later, or you can pay it back 3 months later, or you can write it out for the whole term of it, which is 12 months. And we can do that anywhere, right? So you can do that on a bus. You could sit and see an advertisement, get anything you want, and you can scan the QR code, fill out the form, and then boom, you got 2,000 Miracle tokens. Now in your account, you can sell those tokens immediately and get $2,000 for those tokens. Then you can go into the store and buy that phone with cash if you want. That's how that product works. And if you wonder if this product will work, just look at any big city, look downtown, and read the signs on the tallest buildings. Those companies do exactly this. They're called banks, okay? Now, we are not a financial institution because we will give you the tokens, right? So we give you tokens. Tokens are not money, so you get tokens on a purchase contract. Now, what's the potential of this? Well, we could become the majority, the biggest company doing this in the UK, because it's a better, faster product than any that exists today. But we played around with, if we only took 0.5% of the existing business that's there, which last year there was 40 million of these that happened in the UK. So if we just took 0.5% of that, then we would have 200,000 deals. And then if that was an average value of 2,000 Miracle tokens, which turns into dollars, right? We would have 400 million in volume. That then we would be able to pay out each member, because remember, 1,488 memberships represent 50% of our entire profit base in all of the United Kingdom. So we would be able to pay out over $13,000 in a year with just capturing 0.5% of the existing business in the UK. Now, we think that's a fair, conservative projection. Now, even if it was half of that, 0.25%, you're still looking at earning over 7,000 something in the first year, which if you paid 5,000 for the membership and you earn back over 7,000 the first year, with this one product alone, it's an amazing membership to own, right? What happens when we are able to capture 1%? Then obviously that number simply doubles to 26,000 that we're able to pay out in marketing revenue to the members, okay? For each membership. And you can have more than one membership, by the way. Each one comes with an NFT. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to explain this product really quick, but I'm not going to get too detailed and overwhelm you with what these products are so much. We just want to give you an idea of what we're doing. It makes a lot of sense because we're providing services in the marketplace that people need. Miracle Home is basically a program that helps landlords and tenants. On the landlord side, the problems they have is if there's a bad tenant, they lose money. So they protect themselves by charging upfront more money than the rent is, so that they can be protected in case the tenant is bad. They ask for the last month's rent, and they ask for security deposit, and they also sometimes ask for some fees and things, and obviously referrals, etc. Now, if the tenant applies for the lease through Miracle Home will approve that tenant, and we will guarantee 24 months of rent. Whether the tenant pays or not, Miracle Home will pay the landlord on the first of every month for the next 24 months, guaranteed. Actually, the entire amount goes into an account that the landlord controls day one. Then, if the landlord chooses, he has access to 12 months of rent day one as well. If he wants to, against a fee, he can actually take an advance. So let's say the rent is $4,000, 12 months is 48,000. The landlord can literally access 48,000 Miracle tokens and take that to our exchange, sell it right away, and then he has the money in his hand and he can do what he needs to do. Maybe he needs to update the premises. Maybe he needs to get a new air conditioning unit. Maybe he needs to get a new heater. Maybe he needs to redo the roof or something. So instead of having to go through all the hassle of going to the bank, get a loan for it, boom, he has it right away. And then maybe he chooses to pay it off in the next 3 months, 4 months. Also, he'll have damage insurance on the apartment in case the tenant damages the apartment. He can actually get it paid for by our insurance. So, of course, the landlord is in a better position if he uses Miracle Home than if he doesn't. The tenant, what's good about that for the tenant is he doesn't have to be stressed with the landlord asking him for rent and everything. It's paid for. He deals with it by paying it to Miracle Home. But he also gets to take possession of that apartment without having to pay last month's and security deposit, and doesn't have to even bother any of his friends to be a reference for him or her. So it's a better situation for both parties. Now, I'm not going to get into too much of the math. I'm just going to say that if we take 2% of the marketplace in UK, then we're looking at an average rent of 1,800. We're looking at 132 million in revenue. So half of that paid out after we pay all the fees that it takes to facilitate that. We have about 44 million left. And then if 10% of the landlords take an advance that we talked about, then we would have around 53 million in profit. So half of that would go to the NFTs, to the memberships. And so that would be 35,000 per membership paid out in a matter of 12 months. So we pay that quarterly. Payments start after we open UK. Right now, we're in the middle of the process of getting all the licenses we need. We're looking at signing our first lease in the next few days, according to our company. And so opening this, we're on schedule to open somewhere around February. And so after that, we will be able to offer these products to the UK market. And so in that one product, obviously a $5,000 membership that pays out $35,000 in a calendar year is obviously an amazing deal. We talked about buy and sell. Well, when I first started today, I was talking about buy and sell, and I was talking about also trading, because there's people that trade coins between coins back and forth. So that whole industry is where Binance is apparently doing $76 billion a day. So that number is staggering. So we did some research and we saw, okay, what's happening in the United Kingdom? We believe that once we have 10 stores, we will be the biggest exchange in the United Kingdom because of our presence and our marketing and our other products. All of our products, all our marketing brings customers to our platform, right? So if we can manage to do 3%, we can possibly do that in the first year, even if it's 2 years to get 3%. We will get there, we know it, but we're just sort of playing around with what we think is a reasonable amount, which is 3%. At 3%, we're able to pay out over $34,000 to each membership in marketing revenue. So 34,000, again, 5,000 NFT, 34,000 paid out. ATMs, these are just no-brainers. You put them out, they make money. That's kind of how it works. Whenever they get installed, people show up and they transact on these machines. So because this is what Hakan actually did in the UK, he was placing ATMs throughout the continent. So he has all the connections and contacts to roll these out very easily. So we believe that we will have thousands of AVMs or Bitcoin ATMs in the UK. But for each 1,000, it represents about $10,000 in revenue to the memberships, okay? So if we have, double that, that's 21,000, double that, now we're at 43,000 with just this one product alone, or we call it delivery channel. Then we have our electronic terminals. Now, if I could play a drum roll, I would, because why is it that crypto is such a big industry now and you can't buy your Rolex with crypto? Or you can't pay for rent with crypto, or you can't buy your car with crypto? It's because the technology wasn't there yet, okay? Now it is, because Miracle Cash and More built this platform and this technology to be able to do this. And why is it that we did it? Well, Hakan was in this industry, okay? So he's that guy that just says, well, if it's not there and you can see that it's something that's going to be needed, let's build it. And, back in 2017, no one was really thinking in those terms. And trust me, it wasn't easy to do this. It was not easy. It took a lot of money and a lot of expertise to actually build this. Now, these are pretty simple. You put them in actual physical stores. You have to have the license to do it. So we can't put them in a country that doesn't have the license. And that's why, in the UK, this is what we're doing right now, getting the license. But we put out 10,000 of these. Then we look to see about 23,000 a year paid out to each membership. So obviously these are very, very, very simple to put out, because when you do deals with these, you do them with national chains. So in Germany, we've already done a few deals, and we have about 100,000 locations that we can right now today put them into. So there's no resistance here to this product. They did a research on the retailers, and they asked them if they would they accept crypto, and 70% of them said, of course, right? Because they know the more options they have for being able to sell their products, the more money they're going to make. This is a no-brainer, folks. You know, it's just math. We put 10,000 out, we pay out 23. We put 20,000 out, we pay out 46. It's just math. No one else is doing it, so there's no competition. So we will put as many as we want out into the marketplace. I have a fly that loves me. Apparently, it's just all over. All right. Now, if you knew back before plastic cards were big, would you have gotten behind a company that was doing that when it was early stages? Of course you would. Look at First Data. They probably started with an office with 3 or 4 people. And in 2019, they did $12 billion providing the service of transacting in retail stores and online. Okay, so I've talked a lot about these different, basically different industries, these could actually be different companies, but they're housed all under one. But they are different industries, they're different companies, and they all come together. And what's cool about this is that each membership, anytime any transaction happens in any of these ways, and there are more ways that we didn't even discuss today, the members get paid. So the members get paid when we run a TV commercial about Miracle with installments. The members get paid when we run a TV commercial about Miracle Home and someone signs up and they use it. That's every single citizen of the UK. Anytime they interact with our services and products, the members get paid. So you basically just sit back and watch the profits roll in. And if we're right about our projections, which we consider to be reasonable, even low, conservative, then you're looking at payments of over 150,000 year 1, over 300 year 2, over 600 year 3, and over 1.2 million year 4, according to what we're seeing. I know that those numbers can be shocking. Let me just say, I believe the value of the license for the United Kingdom, we bought it for 4 million. I believe it's worth more than 40 million. That's why the memberships are worth so much, because the true value of this is not represented in the deal that we got, and we're actually turning that savings over to all of you who have a membership for the UK. It's built in. That's why these numbers are so ridiculous, okay? Now, the company Miracle Cash and More knows that what it's doing is going to cause attention to them. And there's going to be big companies who simply know that they can't build it themselves. So if they can't build it themselves, they have to buy it. If they don't want to be phased out of the world of transactions, which some of these companies will be, they will want to buy it at the right time. And so we believe that that time is about 4 years from now. And if they do it 4 years from now, according to our numbers here, then each member will be paid out over $12 million. That's right, you heard it, $12 million for a $5,000 membership. I think what you're looking at is the most incredible opportunity that's ever been shared. And it's real. It's as real as the bricks on the wall of our stores. Looking at UK is fast advancing in the crypto world, and it's not going to stop. There's too much money in crypto now for this industry to slow down or stop. So the deal is a 5,000 membership. It's 1,488 of those, and they split 50% of the entire United Kingdom, which is not a small country, and it's a very wealthy country. Now, we've talked about NFTs, and I'm going to share a little bit about them. You can do some research on this yourself so you understand what's happening here. But this, to me, is a bonus. Instead of those membership being a piece of paper, a contract, we've turned it into an NFT. Now, what's going on with NFTs is that the first time in history, we are now able to collect a digital unit, a digital piece of art, and know that it's the original. So the way it works is you create the art, you attach it to the NFT, the non-fungible token, and now you know the original. Because before, if I had this monkey with the rainbow teeth, and I sent it to Ed Terranova, and then someone would show up and say, hey, I want the original, Ed could easily say that his is the original because it's identical to the one I have. Because digital just copies exactly the way that it is, right? Now, in the NFT world, if they can't come to us, I can show him that it is the original because it's tied to the blockchain, and you could see when and how it was created and that it is the original. So Ed would get 0, and I would apparently get 350,000 on average for these monkeys. And these were sold for $100 a few years ago. So the technology of NFT with art is an amazing space. And you know, a lot of these people who know and understand this stuff, and I'm fairly good at it, but you know, my thing is that it's unpredictable what art's going to do in the beginning. So if you pay $100 for something, it's not like you can predict that it's going to be 350,000 4 years later. It's very hard to do that. Or these crypto punks, which were, some of them were given away in early stages, and you cannot buy one for less than 2.5 million now. Again, it's cool that it happens, but it's a little bit that it's unpredictable. Now, we believe that we have a certain amount of predictability in ours because we have it tied to the membership, and the membership is worth a lot of money in advertising revenue, in marketing revenue. The other thing that we also know is that communities are very, very good to have. Communities are strong and you can do a lot. So whoever has one of these Boogie Gopher NFTs will also be part of the Boogie Gopher community, Boogie Gopher Club. And what are we going to do in that club? We're going to have some fun. We will have events in resorts throughout the world. We will also... yeah, Hawkins been calling me. I don't know why. We will also have events that are built to make our community stronger, more educated. So financial education, personal development, and last but not least, actually the most exciting part of this is we're going to do good things, charitable things, helping the world. So we believe that through this, we will create more multimillionaires than any other organization in the history of the planet. And because of that, we will have strength, not only in numbers, strength in community, but we will also have strength in finance. And with that finance, we believe that we can do incredible things. And that's part of the journey with us. We have a referral program where you make 10% commission if you refer someone to us who buys the membership. And if they in turn refer their friend who buys the membership, you will get a 5% commission on that sale as well. And if you do sell 2 memberships in the first 30 days, we will give you and put your name on one of our terminals. And every time that terminal does a transaction, we will pay you 30% of that profit directly into your crypto wallet. Summing it up, I go long, everyone. Summing it up, a $5,000 membership basically means that every single transaction, no matter if it's the terminals, the Bitcoin ATMs, as they say, in the store, if someone uses Miracle Home, the membership gets paid half of that profit directly into a crypto wallet for life, or until the company is acquired and you get paid out a huge amount of money. But the Boogie Gopher Club lives on. The Boogie Gopher Club, we have a lot of cool things that we're planning, some benefits. for the members, but it does live on, and it does continue to do great things in the world. All right, so we do talk about registration. So the way it works is the person who referred you to the call has a link to the website. That link is coded so that when you register with us, when you actually purchase the membership, a commission gets paid out to them. Okay, so what you need to do is then use that link, go to the website, you register first. So now you registered for free. And if you don't have the funds to purchase a membership, you can still refer others. You can still refer others to us, and you can actually start becoming part of this community, and you can earn your way up to owning a membership. So we don't discriminate. I know people have different situations in life, and I was in one of those situations. I didn't have the money, but I have the desire. And so we're making it available for anyone who wants to represent us, as long as you do it responsibly. But if you then move on to buying the membership, then it's simple. It's cart program. You put the NFT into a cart, then you go and you check out, and up and
a little while ago. My name's Ed Terranova. I'm a retired New York City firefighter. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I've owned a video production business, partners in a restaurant, partners in a catering hall, been in direct sales network marketing for over 40 years. And back in July of this year, I was talking to a friend of mine online. We were on a Zoom together. We were reconnecting. And after I shared with him some of the projects I was engaged with, he said, Ed, could I take 5 minutes to share with you what we've been doing? I said, sure. He says, do you remember Micah? I said, of course I remember Micah. We go back 17 years. We had traveled together. We were in a business venture that I was with for 7.5 years. So I know Ray and Micah real well. You know, they were from the West Coast out in LA. I was from the East Coast back in the New York, New Jersey area. And we had a mutual respect for each other. We liked each other. So I said, of course I do. He said, well, we started this crypto wealth society over 1.5 years ago, where we meet every Saturday. And it's just to learn about cryptocurrency, help people get into the space. And he said, we looked at projects, we try some projects, we make some money, we lose some money, we hit some home runs. And he said, last year, Micah hit a real big home run, became a millionaire, and went to Cyprus, bought a condo, and met with a man that is launching a company where they're putting stores like the Apple Store, only for crypto on the street. And he says a company called Miracle Cash and More. And the way they're bringing it to market is they're allowing people to participate. There's these master franchise agreements, and we sold out Spain in 31 days, and now we're selling the United Kingdom. And immediately, within those 5 minutes, the light bulb went off in my head, because in network marketing, I've also dove into cryptocurrency. At one time, I was a consultant and acting as president of a company that